What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, where each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games, talking that gaming shit here on a Friday evening. And I got my co-host here, Arthur Thomas. What's going on, my man?
Nothing much. Just had steak and eggs for dinner, like a fucking
Nice.
man. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm told Father's Day is coming up or something. I don't fucking know. But my grocery store had sales on meat and eggs, so fuck it, dude. Hey, man,
That's
like,
awesome.
dude, eggs are, I was like, oh, eggs are $3, and fucking ribeye was 9. Well, buy fucking two of those bitches.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I remember back in the day, every now and again, my dad would cook steak and eggs for like on a Saturday breakfast for us, and I was like, so good. Yeah, man, good shit, good shit. So, most definitely. And if you're watching this, hello, be sure to like, subscribe here on the channel at G4L Podcast. This is the podcast where we really talk about how we feel regarding the games. We talk about the truth when it comes to games. So if you are a bandwagoner, if you are someone who you can't take any criticism, you don't like when anyone talks about bad things about your favorite game or your console, just don't subscribe. Fuck off. But
God damn, Drell.
if if you
It's
are
been
a
a dog
gamer,
day for Drell.
if you're a gamer, I know I told you that I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm just tired of these fucking idiots. And if you are not that, if you're someone who just wants to play good stuff, wants to get information that's not from some funneled IGN, GameSpot bullshit, we'll just give you a 10 as long as we get our direct deposit in the mail. That we're not going to do that. We're just going to talk about what we love. We've been playing games for
Whoa,
over 30 years.
I
Well,
mean, I never said I shit on IGN for Drell, but I mean, shit, man. Someone gives me a check to rate, fucking Call of Duty Black Ops, fucking 8, whatever number on that comes out every fucking year now. I don't know, man. That shit looks like a 9 out of 10 out of me. I don't know, man. Some sci-fi trippy shit. Oh, it's an upside down
uh,
trailer, guys. Oh, we learned so much about Call of Duty. Fucking, I don't know, Mo. I don't know, man.
we had
Everyone says
someone
they
in the
can't.
comments that was like, in the comments of, I think it was the
Yeah,
Instagram that I put up,
yeah,
the reeler, like, can't wait for Ghost 2.
yeah. I know, right, dude? It was. It's really funny. It's like I don't shit. I don't know, man. Ever since they can't be bought till they see a check. I mean, shit. Like, fuck. Activision wants to pay for my student loans. Shit. Black Ops like the fucking best game ever. Baldur's Gate 3, fucking garbage. This should never be the industry norm.
So yeah, so if you just want to if you want to hear raw opinions regarding to games, subscribe. I definitely would appreciate that. Arthur does a great job on the YouTube. Does a lot of the streams, manages a lot of the streams, and we've been doing Hell Divers recently, which has been really fun. And obviously these videos will be on there. A couple of our audio episodes are here, but everything else will be on linktree.com/gamers for life, the one-stop shop here. And here at the Gamers for Life podcast, we read the news while you can watch or listen to what you choose by clicking on the links to the time code within the description of the episode so you can go to what you want to watch. And here at the Gamers for Life podcast, we read the news while you can watch or listen. Wait, I just said that already. So, yeah.
Yeah. So let's recap. You can watch the news, listen while you
Or you
choose,
can hang out with us here.
and subscribe.
And subscribe, which you should still do, or any. so you go what you want to talk about, or you can hang out with us here at the Game of Life podcast. I'm not cutting that. Fuck off.
I will not expect you to, nor do I have control of that.
um, so before I lean in and kick everyone's dick, I wanted to talk about well, I guess while I'm still a little hated, behind me is the arguably one of the worst Call of Duty reveals, if not the worst Call of Duty reveal of all time. And I put that as a reel on our Instagram that you should subscribe or that you follow, by the way. Um,
I still say the last Call of Duty. It's really funny, Joe. You're saying that because I still say the last Call of Duty had like the best Black Ops
yeah,
reveal. Remember, I told you it was like Margaret Thatcher and all the fucking
yeah,
politicians, like Bill Clinton, like, yeah, man, it's all real, bro.
yeah.
There is a cabal behind the scenes. You're like, oh shit, and that was like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so one for one to go from the last Call of Duty reveal to this last one, it was like it's just really put it this way: if the majority of chat live in Xbox, like I was, you and I were watching Xbox, if the majority of people are like, "Oh, Quantum Break," like a game where a type of game that just has like celebrity face, celebrity face, celebrity face. If people think that's the type of game you're about to launch when it's Call of Duty, dude,
Yeah.
you missed the mark.
And it's not, and it's funny too because we were watching the live stream, right? There was over 300,000 people watching the fucking live stream on YouTube. And the sea of comments on the live, if you watched it, you can still see that because I think if they record that and you can watch that, you can see the sea of comments where people are just like, LLL, this is like, what the fuck is like, what, like clearly like, there's just so many fucking Call of Duty dick riding bandwagoners. Like, don't fucking understand, man. It's really gross. It's really gross. Like, one person was like, terrible take. I'm like, wash your mouth out.
God, shit, dude. Nah, and that's the thing too. It's like I don't know. I feel bad for like people that have just been committed to only like Call of Duty type of games. You know what I mean? Because when you play games like Splitgate, you play games like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4. I'm not talking about Battlefield 5. I'm not talking about Battlefield 2042. Bad Company, Gears of War, Halo 1 through 5. I know Halo's 5 campaign was unpopular for a lot of people, but the gameplay still holds up. So, when you come from games like that to Call of Duty, I remember laughing at an E3 announcement that hey guys, new massive game-changing updates coming to Call of Duty, and it was destructible environments. And all you can do was like knock down one billboard and knock over the ceiling at a gas station while I'm playing Battlefield 4 taking down fucking skyscrapers. I'm playing Battlefield 1 and leveling castles to the fucking ground in a behemoth Zeppelin and heavy bombers. And I was like, "Oh, look at us guys. We could knock down a billboard." And
Right.
so when it comes to innovation, when it comes to ideas, when it comes to creativity and overall effort, Black Call of Duty has been laughably behind the scenes. You know what I mean? It's just kind of running a joke. It's a running joke in a modern day Call of Duty that you give a Call of Duty game a month, everyone's using the same three guns because every other gun is just bullshit, and you're just kind of almost wasting your time if you're not using the three best guns of the game. Or depending what type of lobbies you're playing, it's like hackers. And it's unfortunate because the rate of both those critiques, it's only been getting worse. You know what I mean? It's just weird that with every iteration, the frequency of hackers or the frequency of broken guns, the frequency of quote unquote, the meta, where it's like if you don't have one of these three guns, you're just gonna get murdered every single time. And yeah, there's like, mid-tier guns. I get it, Arthur here's like these six. Yeah, that's fine. But when you watch the kill feed, it's like, and again, we've all seen it. It's like, everyone's using the same three guns. It's like, why even play this game anymore? And again, for someone like me that ditched Xbox and I bought a PS5 just for Helldivers. It was, I know Helldivers and Call of Duty are not in the same lane. I get that. But guess what? They're both a game with guns. And it's so fucking refreshing to play a game like Helldivers where there's really no bad gun. Yeah, there are some guns that are better, but there's nothing that's really like fucking trash. There's nothing that's like a waste of time to play. There's nothing that you won't have fun your play style of playing. And when you and I have got back into Helldivers, when Super Earth was under attack, we did our fucking duty. We showed up, fucking bug divers, looking at you. And then, and like I said, to go from a game where you can play whatever build thing you want, and to even just glance across the aisle what the fuck is happening with Call of Duty, and it's like, again, I feel bad because like people are just trapped and they think that that game is like a B or an A plus according to IGN. Like I said, Ghost got a 9 out of 10, and then it's like Stockholm syndrome. you stop mainstreaming, like main living that one type of genre, or if not franchise, to dip your feet into other games like Gears of War remake. The Gears of War remake is coming to PlayStation, so I'm looking forward to a lot of PlayStation users that have never owned an Xbox or a gaming PC that are going to be playing Gears of War for the first time, because that to this day is one of the best cooperative campaigns in modern day gaming. I still remember to this day when me and my friend were in college and the whole dorm left for Thanksgiving. So just the island of misfit toys where, our family's like, hey man, it's like $200 of a flight. Save your money, stay at school. It's a fucking weekend. You know what I mean? And then we literally stayed up all night on Black Friday and beat, Gears of War. Just stayed up all night, like dusk till dawn, playing that shit. Um, and to see where Call of Duty's OG campaigns, cooperative campaigns, have fallen from grace, and now to see this is the direction artistically where this is they're going for the new one. It's weird. Like, Drill, do a quick duck your head real quick. Like, why is there some celebrity the main face of Call of Duty?
This Is Us, Call of
Like,
Duty edition.
like, Drill, no offense, I don't even know the show This Is Us. All I know, he's really popular with women because he's a pretty dude, which, shocker, that's not the main fucking customer basis of Call of Duty. Like, I'm sorry, women that like attractive men on Netflix are not the fucking target audience for a goddamn Call of Duty game. You know what I mean? So even then, they get a face of a guy whose wives are like, oh my God, it's that guy. And we're just like, who? What? I canceled Netflix 3 years ago. What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, no, no, This Is Us. He has a kid and he has a wife. He's so family man. I would rather have Tom Cruise's fucking character from fucking Tropic Thunder be the main face of Call of Duty. That's the fucking face we want. If you're gonna pick a celebrity, pick that fucking guy, with the giant fucking gorilla hands, fucking dancing the fucking ludicrous. Give me that fucking celebrity as your main face and cover of Black Ops, and not some Netflix dude, again, who's currently known for a product that the majority of Call of Duty customers don't fucking know. Like when you said, "Oh, it's a guy from This Is Us," I nodded my head and I'm like, "Okay, that's a thing." And I look it up and it's like some fucking, I don't know, Netflix show. So,
It's not a Netflix show.
oh,
It's a great show. I mean, they had like multiple seasons. It's a really good show. It's very emotional drama, but I just did.
that
I
sounds
just
like
didn't
Call of Duty,
expect it.
Jarrell.
Yeah, but yeah, to your point, I didn't expect it on a fucking Call of Duty game. I'm like, what? Like, so no,
Emotional drama.
yeah.
What emotional drama? What we look for in a modern day Call of Duty game.
Right. No, I agree with you, man. And I think here's my roundabout point, right? And I don't even blame people that play Call of Duty like and that's all they play. Like, to be fair, I know there's a lot of people that just play one thing and that's all they play. And if you're happy, you're happy. Like, I have no problem with that personally. I stopped playing Call of Duty I mean, not only just because the online environment is insane, but the I had a match where it just didn't end because there were just hackers taking over everything, and I just said, "Wow, this is Call of Duty now." And this is like from like Modern Warfare 2, like multiplayer, and I just stopped.
Modern Warfare 3.
And,
Modern Warfare 3 was my
yeah,
last one. Yeah.
yeah, and when I did play Call of Duty after that, it was the campaign, and I just got the fuck out. I said, whatever. I said, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, so like Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, like the Black Ops series. Like, I just played the campaigns and I just stopped. Like, I didn't care to play online. But my main point is that I remember that we weren't the only ones who were like, what the fuck is this as far as for the trailer, And there's a weird narrative and weird thing, and when it comes to just people like consumers, like basically shitting on consumers or people that complain about different things that come out, like that have certain criticism towards products or games or whatever, like people that just don't like other people that have feedback or constructive criticism, or just don't like something and they vocally say it. And I don't understand that, especially if you're spending money. It's like, well, if you don't like it, don't play it. Like, I had someone that said that on the Instagram as well, and I forgot for what which video it was.
Oh, that's what the Veilguard dev said. How'd that go? If you don't like it, don't buy it. Oh yeah, because every time that happens, Yeah, it's not immediately followed by the word flop.
Yeah, and I think my and like that's not how companies should be should be operating. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, don't play it. Okay, so if a mass majority don't play it, and you're supposed to meet your sales, and you're supposed to meet all this shit from your stakeholders, guess what happens? You're not fucking making games anymore because you're out on your ass. You know, so it's like if you don't like it, don't play it. Like, no, you're designing something for somebody. You're designing it for a target audience. If a mass majority doesn't like it, maybe you should look into it. Maybe you should take that feedback and try to fix it. Like I'll never be that person who just should never criticize something. We should criticize everything that we love. You know what I mean? Like everything that you love within life, you should be able to constructively criticize it because you love it and you want it to be better. Like that is just a human thing, and I just don't
I'll start with
understand.
me. I love me, but I'm fat. Fuck. Like, sorry.
Like, I just
We practice what we preach. Shit. I
and
got you.
you know what I mean. So it's just like, and that, and I will leave that there because I'm going to take that point to Nintendo. But we'll leave that there.
Yeah, on to our next section. Nintendo. Nintendo's fat too. Fuck those guys. Sorry. I was trying to connect the dots of that transition.
Yeah, but
I,
I'll leave that there. I'll leave
I
that. I'll leave that there. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
and I got one last thing with Call of Duty 2. Another reason why, to me, this was originally like a bad launch reveal, almost to a point for me, regardless of the quality of the reveal, which I think was bad. One of the earliest things we heard, Drill, from Phil Spencer and from Activision Blizzard after this takeover, after the buyout from Microsoft, what was one of the first things they said? That, quote, see a shift away from annual release schedule. So, if that was one of the first things we were told when this fucking buyout started to happen, what feels like what 3 fucking years ago, maybe it was 2, but it's been over a fucking year now. And one of the first things they told us is they're shifting away from an annual release schedule to focus on the quality. And one of the next fucking games they do is 8 months after launch. So here we are. And again, I know people are okay being lied to their face. I'm not. Like I said, I know, like our ex co-host and like some other people will be like, hey, Arthur, Overwatch 2, they didn't bring PvE, but they're bringing this back. I'm like, dude, if I order a fucking cheeseburger and with lettuce and tomato, and you're gonna make it up to me by like, hey, Arthur, I saw we gave you a fucking grilled cheese, but here's a cookie. No, I ordered a fucking cheeseburger. Don't try to appease me with all these sides and bullshit, right? And that's like again with like not one for one, but with like Overwatch 2 was like, hey guys, hey, Overwatch 2 doesn't exist with PvE. It didn't. Guess what? People turned away. I know a lot of people are not really focusing on this, but I was really hopeful that Call of Duty would, as they said, shift away from the annual release to focus on the quality of game. Because I give even Madden, Jarrell, some credit for being an annual game because it's a sports games. People retire. People get traded. Like we said, Saquon Barkley was on the Giants Madden last year. He's on the fucking Eagles now. He's on the fucking Eagles now. Super Bowl champions. And so that's the only type of game where I can justify an annual launch is like sports or like a franchise, like a type of franchise like that. But for an action shooter like Call of Duty to come out every year, it has suffered for years. Now, at least before Jarrell, they kind of justified it because we got different types of Call of Duty because it was different developers making the fucking thing. So now, how I really don't know what it's like to be someone that went all in on the last Black Ops that came out 8 months ago, bought the collector's edition, bought the season pass, bought all these fucking new skins, and now a new game is coming out 8 months, or a new game gets announced 8 months after launch. 8 months? Like, these are, dude, we're talking about other games that get supported for years. Hell, State of Decay 3 had its last update years later. It's only because they have a new fucking game coming out, which is like the usual formula. So that's the thing. I just, like I said, Joe, I don't get. And I kind of feel sad for her. Like, can you imagine spending like buying the super, whatever they fucking call it, deluxe collector's deluxe edition at launch, buying the skins, buying the season passes, and now you're being told, "Hey, cool, in 8 months, do it all over again." Are you like? I would be
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows, right? Maybe they will, continue to support. I mean, Jesus Christ, they keep supporting Fallout 76. Um, maybe they will support this last Call of Duty 6 that came out. And uh, maybe this will just be a really dope game, and I'll be wrong, and that's fine. You know what I mean? But I'm just merely critiquing as far as for a release for Call of Duty. I've seen excellent releases or announcements, I should say, be specific announcements. This was not a very good announcement. Maybe they'll have maybe they'll have a better video of more gameplay and all this shit to show people, see, you should spend another $200 on your super collector's edition, even though you just spent it 8 months ago. You know,
Dude, we're not far from like a $1 per gigabyte ratio with Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like,
that's hilarious.
like
That's
it's like,
hilarious.
oh, hey, you want to buy all the skins, all the deluxe edition at launch, play it early, get the season pass? Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be $356. Where'd you get that number from? Storage space? What? Nothing. Um, but yeah, who knows, Joe? They might have an update. They might continue this game for more than a year, like unlike Black Ops 6. And who knows, Joe? Phil Spencer might do what he does to see the success of Fallout 76 and bring something that Call of Duty never had. That Fallout 76 is just now getting. Fishing. Sorry, I just any chance we get to dig, any chance we get to dig on the dumpster fire that is Fallout 76 is I'll
Oh
fucking
man,
do it, man. I'll
no,
fucking a
I,
whole segment of fishing. Sorry, just I'm still
no,
mad.
yeah, no, yeah, and I still have to cut up that clip to put up to you, which I will. Um, So, given that, and given the announcement of that, and speaking of game conferences, you wanted to provide just like slightly updated information for some things that might have been in the clouds or not too sure from like the general populace when it comes to certain things. So I wanted to toss it to you when it came to
It
that.
it's not really expansion, like there's an update, but this is kind of related to our Call of Duty topic where we don't know the life of a person that loves Call of Duty. Like everyone's entitled to see a pile of shit and jump into that. That's your God-given right. But when I say you smell and you say you don't, I have a right to laugh in your fucking face. So, Pokemon customers, Game Freak, Game Freak. Remember, Joe, that game you're talking about? That's kind of like clearly
Mortal Shell 2.
no, 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 no. It was the Wu one, not the Wu Tang, like the Wu Chang one.
Oh, Mudang.
No, no, it
Mundang?
was it was it was I just saw it on Game Informer. But Game Freak, whole
Oh,
place.
I know what you're talking about. Was it
Yeah.
called Ashery or something like that?
No,
I
no.
forget what it's
Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. That's
called.
the game. Remember, that's the game that looked like Wukong, but
Oh,
wasn't
okay, got
Wukong.
it.
Yeah, so Wu Chang Fallen Feathers is clearly like another Souls-like game coming out that has a lot of the Wukong like aesthetic to it. And it was just one of the quietest, like weirdest, like not mic drops, but like holy shit, are we not talking about the elephant in the room? That the makers of Nintendo, the makers of Pokemon can make this? Like they could do this? How long have they been able to do this? I know you look at games like Power World and that one game we talked about, that really cutesy, I think it was a Korean developer of the next like monster capture game. I already forget what it's called, but it was like
Yeah,
Pokemon but really cutesy.
yeah.
So it's like we're two for two now. We're for two where each year us if not a competitor Pokemon, at least in a genre. Like, you know what I mean? It might not pull the long-term numbers. Like Power World spiked like fucking crazy. But understandably, its player base dropped off because you were able to kind of sort of beat the game. But
And Nintendo sued them.
and
Uh,
Nintendo sued them of like, oh, you can't use monsters. What about
Cease and
Digimon?
desist, bitches. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I said similar to Call of Duty. It's like the kind of good news is I'm seeing a lot more videos of people kind of like realizing of how lack of innovation with Nintendo, especially in Pokemon, is really hindering their long term because when you feel like you have no competitor, you can just fucking coast. That happened with Overwatch. They had no real true competitor that could fucking coast. Rival comes out, kicks them in the balls and be like, wake the fuck up and actually do something to your fucking game. And all of a sudden we're seeing updates like crazy. We're seeing like it was like someone did the math. It was like either a year drill or half a year's worth of updates came out in 2 fucking months, not too long after Rivals came out to Overwatch. You know what I mean? And so I wonder if in the next Pokemon game or drill, if we'll actually see innovation, we'll actually see creativity, we'll actually see effort put into what even feels like for Pokemon now copy and paste cookie cutter games. You know what I mean? Like it's just so weird to see. Not weird. It's kind of breathtaking. It's kind of relieving to see Nintendo diehards see what a game developer like Game Freak can do. You know, this Wu Chang Fallen Feathers comes out July 24th. I don't know how well it'll do because the Souls like genre, it's pretty flooded right now. There's a fucking lot of them. That's okay. But even if it gets, and here's the thing, Joel, even if that game becomes a quote unquote flop or it gets overshadowed, that at least the fact that game fucking exists, Joel, lets us know what that developer is capable of and lets us know what Nintendo is, I think, not letting them do. Because let's be real, I feel like the relationship between Nintendo and Game Freak is now clearly it's no longer a question of what Game Freak is capable of. It's clearly a question of what Nintendo won't let them do. That game looks so fucking good. Like I can't think. I know Pokemon is never focused on graphics, but Drell, can you imagine? Even if it's a spin-off game, because you know Pokemon has spin-off games. Can you imagine if they released a spin-off game that looked like the Pokemon anime? I don't know if you've seen the Pokemon anime. It looks good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's clean, it's crisp, it's polished. Now, if the newest episode, sucked, I haven't seen it in forever. But when I saw clips, like I think it was like a year ago or 2 years ago, when Ash like finally won the fucking champion, when he finally won the tournament, finally took him long enough. Fuck. Um, but the show that those battles look so good. I feel like I feel like if Game Freak, or let me phrase that, if Nintendo lets Game Freak take a page from like Persona and just makes anime the game, it will sell. Like holy shit, if you make Pokemon look like it's fucking anime and make it feel like it's anime and had the battles fucking animations look like the anime, even Control, I think they'll have a hit in their hands, but something that you and I have said for it feels like fucking decades, Drill. Nintendo was synonymous with a lot of stuff. Never innovation. You can never say the word innovation and Nintendo in the same fucking sentence. They don't blend. Like you and I used to joke. You and I used to joke at all the Nintendo conferences of like, oh look, Kirby 5. Is there anything new from the last one? No. Like there was that one Mario game that people lost their shit on because it was like it had the color purple. You know what I mean? Remember that one game that was like slightly different aesthetic? Like, oh my God, it looks so different. I'm like, do you not play other fucking games? Like, this isn't 1980. Other games look like this, and other games have looked like this for fucking decades. And they're like, no, 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 but we've never seen a Mario game look like this. I'm like, that's the bar. That's the
Yeah.
bar you're crossing. You've never seen a Mario game look different. That, boo, that, like I said, that's like gaming. That's like gamer Stockholm syndrome. And again, I'm not saying these Mario games aren't bad. It's just when your biggest win in your fucking flagship Mario franchise at the time, what the elephant game was like, they've had like the color purple and a few other shades and different aesthetic. And I'm like, holy shit, do you seriously like do you only play Nintendo games? Did you not play anything else? AAA, hell, even indie. The indie market is flooded with this shit on Steam. Have you not? It's like scroll through a Steam sale. It's like you know what I mean. It's like scroll through a Steam sale, being like a Pokemon, like being like a diehard Nintendo customer, and it's like you'll see that the quote unquote updates and quote unquote innovations that Nintendo is just now trying out has been around for a very, very long time. It's nothing new, and I think their games are they're just now realizing, Joe, they're starting to suffer for it. I think, like I said, I think with this Game Freak showing what they're fucking capable of, this is to me a tech demo of the game for Game Freak. This is announced to the world. This is who we are. This is who we're fucking capable of when we get let out of Nintendo's basement. So I wish the best for it. Um, I don't see me playing it, but again, that's just me in the Dark Souls genre. I barely did my foot. I dipped my foot into the dark into the Souls-like genre. Remnant 2 and Liza P are kind of where I stay in my lane. Maybe another Crab's Treasure, that game that's on Game Pass. That's made by like 5 people. That game's really good, but I don't go too deep into the pool that is Souls-like. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's just one conversation I've seen kicked up a lot, at least in the world of Nintendo, now that the Switch 2 is launched, of what does the future of Game Freak and the future of Nintendo look like. And like I said, man, I like being proven wrong. I like for Nintendo to have their next Pokemon fucking put their nuts on their desk and just make all the changes, make all the updates that their customers have been asking for what feels like years now.
Yeah, I sadly I don't think I think Nintendo isn't going to have a problem in my opinion in regards to that because as a drug dealer if the dope is good people will buy. You know what I mean, if it's even if it's samey, if people keep buying it I'm not going to change the formula, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of been their Heisenberg, Nintendo's Heisenberg. You know what I mean? Like it's
Bro, you hinting on my next stream because remember in the group chat, Bacon and I were gonna start playing Schedule One again.
yeah, man.
Wink,
Like
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
yeah, man. No, yeah, definitely. Again, at G4L podcast, subscribe. So, but yeah, man, I am happy for Game Freak that they're really, you know, getting their creative on what they really want to make. How it reflects in Nintendo, I feel like it won't because people keep fucking buying their games. Even if they adjust the color, people will keep buying their games. Um, but yeah, I mean, as far as for Game Freak, the game looks pretty good. I think the problem that I have, not necessarily with the game, but it seems like maybe with the whole conference, right? Maybe with the whole, or not the whole conference, but all of these conferences. I feel like originality is few and far between, you know, and I know obviously like there's even if there's an original game, it's going to be there's going to be some type of inspiration or something adopted or something designed where it's going to be reminiscent of something to some degree because I do think on the other side of the spectrum, I feel like originality doesn't exist because everything is inspired from something. That's just kind of my philosophy. But when it comes to like something that like this Wu Chang, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful. What's the name
Why?
of it?
By the way, Joe, I got it wrong. Sorry, because I mixed up what game it was. Their
Huh.
game is Beast of Reincarnation.
Okay, Beast of Reincarnation. That's a
Oh, and you want, and by the way, do you want a pessimistic, disappointing article? Uh,
hey, that's the whole episode.
fuck it. I can't tell this is MSN or Game Rant because I can't tell which one's an ad and which one's a fucking site. Why Game Freak's Beast of Reincarnation likely won't mean much for Pokemon Gen 10. Dude, like how like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Arthur. Is that I feel like you know, I mean, let me get back to my other point as far as just the let me respond to what you said and then I'll go back to my point. Yeah, I mean this is what I'm saying. Like I don't think it's going to affect Nintendo or whatever they release. Like I think it's great that they are stepping outside of the box to make what they want to make, even though what they're making is kind of already existing. But you know the boss battles, the bosses look crazy on that game. Like you know, so I give them super kudos for that. You know, very very cool looking for those boss battles, but yeah it's just once again like I think of Wukong, I think of the Dark Soulsy stuff. Like it's just we're getting to the point where we're just switching the skins on different players and stuff and different designs, but then we're just re-releasing something via Nintendo style, right? And Nintendo can get away with it. I don't think outside of that atmosphere, I feel like to a degree you don't have that much of a stretch. You know what I mean? After a while, people are just gonna stop. They're just gonna be like, whatever. Like I don't want to play this. Like I'm just gonna revert to something else. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be great and people will really fuck with it. You know, it'll be I don't know if it'll be as successful as Black Myth Wukong. You know, Wukong. I think I feel like that game came out the perfect time, right? Because I feel like Black Myth Wukong could have easily have been a failure, right? But I think definitely from a technical achievement, it's a beautiful game. They were really pissed too that they didn't win Game of the Year, which I found it was funny. But it was a technical achievement, and the game looked great. And how the boss battle was, obviously Soulsy like, but still like just the design and everything, and then the environment, the world. They really cashed in on that, and I think that really took them home, and sold a fuckload of copies. I think it was.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know how much?
Yes.
As of now, Black Myth Wukong has sold over 25 million copies globally. That's fucking huge.
And that's
dude.
great. That's great for that type of game. That is great. That is great. It absolutely warrants a sequel. Unlike what's that game that I was like, Atomic Heart. Like that's why I was like, what? There's a sequel to Atomic Heart 2?
Though we
Or
feel
for
surprisingly
Atomic 2?
we feel surprisingly optimistic. You're right. A lot of people are surprised Atomic Heart's getting a sequel, but looking optimistic it is. It's looking better than the first one. But and the thing with Pokemon too, it's like, let me be clear. It's like, yeah, we're criticizing it, but it's not like I'm not. No one's saying Pokemon's gonna be a flop. It's like that saying, if you, you know, if you shoot for the stars, you might hit them. You might land on the moon. Okay, well, it's like, what if Nintendo shot for a star and actually hit the fucking star? You know what I mean? Like, this is like, we've seen how successful Nintendo can be by being lazy. So what if they weren't? Like, the behemoth they are now would only be gargantuan if we saw like it. So we saw some of this. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that's like kind of disappointing, is like, that's like, yeah, they're successful now, but like, how much more would they be if they did some of these things that the fans are asking for? And that's the crazy thought. Is like, we're gonna be talking about it here, but like the Switch 2 is like fastest selling. I think it was like fastest selling handheld ever, and that was with its outrageous price. That was with all the issues all the issues we're seeing, which we'll talk about. But it's like I said, for some of these games like Pokemon, can you imagine how much better Pokemon would do if it did even just more minimal effort?
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's just talk about Arthur. Let's just talk.
It's Friday.
We've blended into Nintendo so much. I feel like fuck it. Let's just talk about it. And I'm gonna rant a little bit here, so forgive me. Um. So I am happy that Nintendo has done what 3.5 million sales in 4 days or something crazy like that. The fastest selling I mean, for those metrics, the fastest selling console currently. When it comes to that particular metric, in Japan, it's hitting like 1 million units sold, which is great. Which is great. And it's funny too because yeah, there were a lot of people rummaging on the internet saying a lot of things that we said, and a lot of those same people bought the Switch too, because they're fans, right? They're fans, and they decide to just eat their words, or just go, or maybe not eat with their words isn't the right term, but they just said fuck it or whatever, and hypocritically just bought it anyway, and whatever, right? Whatever, do you? But to me, it almost seems like definitely, obviously, we talked about as far as like this console released a year early, and they were bullied. I feel like Nintendo was bullied by the third party vendors releasing stuff, the population, the populace of people that were just seeing all this stuff, responding and everything. And even when they released, we were talking about like the release video, Arthur, as far as like how underwhelming it was, and it was separate from a Nintendo Direct, right? Um, it was just like, okay, so that's the system.
It
Yeah.
was like a short YouTube. It was like a short YouTube video.
Yeah, short
Their
YouTube
hand
video.
their
Yeah.
hands were tied. It was like
Yeah.
fuck it, cats with the bag, do
Yeah.
something. And
And you know what? I almost wish that they stood on their nuts, Arthur, because think about it. They would probably have the same amount, if not more, if they released it the next year. These are Nintendo fans we're talking about. Like, this is the beauty of Nintendo is where they can decide when to strike when the iron's hot. Because every time they strike, the iron's hot. Because those Nintendo fans are just, you're the system,
they'll
you know?
Nintendo fans will camp outside your store even though they fucking pre-ordered the thing. We were there.
Yeah,
Okay, do
yeah.
you know how weird it is to see someone camp out for a thing they've already pre-ordered?
That's a great point.
Like, dude, it's 9 in the morning on a fucking Wednesday. It's like, yeah. Well, how come you're not in your car, like just waiting till like 9, maybe 9:15? No, I needed to camp out your store. How long were you here? Like 2 days? You've been outside my store for because Joe, remember I was the one that opened that bitch on like that one like fucking that was this fucking Pikachu fucking edition of 3DS where they gave us like two, second busiest store in Southern California, and they gave us two fucking editions that weren't pre-ordered, and it was like I okay, like I get it, you're excited, but like how come you just didn't like show up like after we opened? Yeah, I mean that's so
Yeah.
to your point, Drill. Strike with the iron's hot, but with Nintendo Toys hot because people will still pull through.
People will, yeah, people, exactly. People will pull through. And I feel like this is really going to fuck Nintendo in the long run when it comes to this. And I think they will fix it. But I think they're creating a whole other laundry list of problems. So, for example, I'll give you guys an example here. A couple of examples. One example is that, what was it, like hours before the release? They're like, "Hey, don't peel that film off of the screen." Why is this like? Is it like, will it scratch the screen? No, it's actually a part of the screen. You'll ruin the screen if you remove the film. What? like I like me as a tech person, I have never heard a company say that. Can you imagine if they said that about an iPad that came out? Hey, don't remove that plastic over the iPad because it'll ruin the screen. That's fucking nuts. And then especially with the packaging. And they probably fixed this, Arthur. They're probably going to have the next shipments. They're going to fix this issue that they had when it comes to the stapling of the staple going through and hitting the fucking screen. Like that staple, like how they even package the console doesn't make any sense. And we've opened boxes of Nintendo consoles because we've taken in trade-ins where they had the original box. We've opened those boxes and they had even the original stuff. Or even we've had to like take boxes out because we had, like the display boxes. We had to gut a new one or whatever, right? Some
These
bullshit.
these weren't like industry staple guns. These were like your Office Max unfold the stapler blow, and that's
Right.
how close your screen is to the exterior environment.
That's
Like
crazy. Yeah, no, yeah. It wasn't like it.
that's a
Yeah.
packaging issue.
If it was a utility staple, like that would have like you would literally
Yeah,
see like the ink spread and the glass would break, right? Yeah,
yeah.
this is just regular, like I'm stapling just a couple papers, like yeah, like it fucked up the screen. So you have that, right? You have a very sensitive screen. While the visuals do look good on it, you have this screen that's very fragile. Okay, so that's the first thing that's very concerning. Second concerning thing is battery life. Okay, so the people are already saying that the battery life is not good on the system, that it's like an hour. Like it's like almost ROG like the ROG Ally. And the ROG Ally is known to have bad battery life because it has a full Windows fucking system on there.
And it's actually powerful. Yeah,
And
go
it's
on.
powerful and I can do a whole session with the Ableton 12, Live
The new
12.
one the new ROG Ally X partner with Xbox is about to have a 24 GB RAM fucking processor in your hands.
Right. So it's already getting really weird feedback and response as far as having an hour of battery life for the console. That's definitely a big fucking problem, right? Um, and then there's already been experiences with Joy-Con drift, so they said that they're gonna give out free ones where the fuck it is. But it's like if there's a huge list of orders of Joy-Con drift, guess what? There's going to be a slowdown on when those replacements actually show up. Some people might be waiting a long fucking time in regards to it. Okay, so this is just the very early. And again, it's great, Nintendo. You're selling stuff. You're breaking records. You're doing the do, man. You're doing the do. But 90. This is my burrito bet, Arthur. 96. Let's say 6 months from now. 6 months from now, this is gonna be a fucking problem. Like we're gonna see a bunch of stuff in the news as far as for these consoles just breaking down because it never was supposed to release this year, and Nintendo didn't stand on their nuts and said fuck you, like whoever their shareholders are, we're gonna release next year. There's still problems with the console. It will hit its targets because we're fucking Nintendo, and these fucking idiots will buy everything that we do because we're Nintendo and we have no soul. So and they would make their sales, and they could have made a better, produced a better, device. But they got bullied. They got bullied by the shareholders or whatever, and the media and everything, the third party vendors, and they said, "Fuck it, we'll just release it." Right? So they're just cashing out right now. But 6 months from now, I think that's gonna really bite them. I think it's really gonna bite them, and they will make another Switch 2 Lite or a Switch 2 OLED or where the fuck it is. It'll be a much better console. But I'm just speaking specifically to that particular scenario. Um, Another point that I wanted to make, and I wanted to refer, and I wanted to give this person credit, that did this video, which is the background NPC. She did a video on why she's done with Nintendo. The video is titled "Switch 2 is the last straw." ... I'm done with Nintendo. Sad face emoji. This is the best video on the internet describing someone who used to be a huge Nintendo fan for many years, wanted to work for them, loved their games, and really got to see under the hood over time how Nintendo has changed and how they are, and how she really, she's kind of moving away from Nintendo being like what they once were. And it's not biased because this is coming from someone for her video. I don't believe it's biased because she used to be a Nintendo fan, right? Huge fan. But everything's changed, when it comes to that. In the Mario Kart that just came out, Miyamoto is nowhere on the credits. He's not even referred. Like nothing. Like that's like removing Stan Lee from like, oh yeah, he designed Marvel, but whatever. And I mean that's a whole other thing because they fucked over Stan Lee, Disney did. But so I think that if you get a chance, watch that video, from the background NPC Switch 2's the last draw, I'm done with Nintendo. I think it's a great video describing the situation, and it's just very real, and it's also connected to what I've been saying as far as it's okay to critique something that you love. You know what I mean? Like we as gamers, we have to stop with this bullshit of, if you don't like it, don't play it. Like, no, 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 no. I like playing this, and I'm saying this needs to be better. That's why I'm saying this. For Nintendo, like, there's a whole gargantuan of issues. To me, the biggest thing that she brought up, that was one of the starting points of why she no longer wants to, like, she's like, Nintendo's not the same company to her anymore, is because of that guy. I forget his name, but he literally had to, he's like, because he did some piracy stuff, he like his and we've talked about it before in the show before, Arthur, where his wages have been garnished like exponentially,
There are
to make an example.
there are murderers that get punished arguably less than Nintendo punished this guy. This guy's
Right.
gonna have wages till he dies, paying Nintendo. That's insane. That's like being sentenced for life, but you're not in jail. Like
Right.
dude, there are people that go arrested for like Ponzi schemes, for like poisoning the water, that get less punishments than this fucking guy. They look crazy. Hey, like, you know what I mean? If you're in it for an inch, you're in it for a mile. Yeah, I mean, even hell, dude, even the guys like poisoning the lake and killing the dogs and killing off the local, killing off, Flint, Michigan. We're like, hey, man, at least we're not that got sued by Nintendo. Holy fuck,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right. Right. No, it's insane. It's insane. And like they're just like when it comes to them, just like copyright striking everything when it comes to people posting about like, and this is, and it's funny because it's like they're doing all these copyright notices from fans that are trying to bring homage to their work. Like, no, like I'm celebrating your guys' work and I'm just sharing it because this is amazing. No, you can't do that. That's our stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's so anti-fan. Like, it's so anti-fan. It's so like just like anti-consumer. Like it's like they just want to hold all the chips. Like it's really crazy. Like, and there was some type of a clause that they wanted to implement or some type of agreement they wanted to implement. I think some type of end user licensing agreement. And even Sony and Xbox were like, hey, that's way too much. That's kind of crazy. And she mentions it in the video. And that's kind of how I feel with Nintendo. Nintendo, she said in the video, she said Nintendo is, what did she say? She said it's
It's the Disney of video
the
games. They've
Disney of video
weaponized
games.
nostalgia.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the couple catchphrases were they're the Disney of video games.
yeah,
They've weaponized nostalgia. And with the law, I like this. I like some of the other phrase used because of the amount of lawsuits they filed. They're more like a law firm that makes games.
right, exactly,
And remember
exactly,
the whole Power World thing. Their alleged patents saying like we've copyrighted this. Those were filed after Power World came out. And so that's the thing where it's like I said, it's just this weird thing where like I said, I get it why people still play their games, but I'm just kind of disappointed they do. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, yeah, this one sandwich place is giving me, fucking stomach flu a few times. You're still going? Yeah, or when they don't give me fucking food poisoning, their chicken sandwich is pretty good. I'm like, okay, okay, sure. Do you want anything? No, I'm good. I'm good.
yeah, man. It's just,
Yeah.
and I know there's a lot of Nintendo fans. A few of our gaming friends are huge Nintendo fans as well, and I'm not trying to rain on their parade. Like, rock out, bro. Rock out with your broken Switch 2. It's fine. I love it. Do your thing. But my thing is just, if you're happy, you're happy. If you're having a great time, that's great. I know one of the issues that Destin had was, from his channel, Destin, for Destin Legary. He went to, he was purchasing some games, or he bought the console, and then he was trying to put in his Switch 1. In order for him to play a Switch 1 game, he had to do an update online in order for him to play. Like pretty much almost every Switch 1 game, he had to download an update to play the game. So it is not plug and play once you get the console. I think they might have changed that after you do the update
And
once
and
you put
most
it
of
in.
it's license agreements.
Yeah,
And here's the crazy thing too, Drill, that I'm surprised more people don't talk about. The supposed physical games. They tell you for most of these games, the game is actually not on your cartridge. You're paying for a piece of plastic that has the product key. So it's like you're paying an extra $10 for a case, no booklet in most cases, and just to put in essentially a USB that sends a link to your console to play it online anyway. So what's the justification for these physical based games that aren't actually physically in your cartridge?
right.
They're just a piece of plastic that has a product key. So it's like
Can
Nintendo
you buy these
led
games?
the way.
I'm sorry, I cut
What?
you off. I was gonna say, can you buy these same games on their eShop, or do you have to go to the store to buy the physical plastic cartridge that has no game in
So
it?
So it's a little bit it's a little bit of both. So it's not every game, but they have like an icon. I think it's like literally like a key icon that tells you this cartridge is just a fucking product key. You pay $90 for something you could have paid online for. You never had to walk in the fucking store to begin with. Okay. And here's the thing too. That's the thing too, Drill. I don't know the details of this, but like, can you like give these games to your friends? These product key games. Can you give those games to your friends? Like if I just switch to new
I
switch to
don't.
and I'm like, hey, I beat this game. Here, you play it. But will the game be like, oh no, this product key, even though it's a physical cartridge, this product key belongs to somebody else?
Yeah, I think there might have to. Remember the DSi? There had to be like a transferring thing. It might have to be something like that. I don't know. It's a good
Yeah,
question. It's a good
it's I
question.
don't know, man. Like it's just weird that Nintendo was the one that led the charge with games almost costing $100, and then still the fucking gall to be like, oh, actually, psych, the thing you paid more for isn't actually in the cartridge. It's just a key. And it's like, again, if the game's fun, that's cool. But it's like, for some of our mutual friends, like, we can't let you keep lying to yourself, man. Like, we can't keep you
Yeah.
lying to yourself. I'm officially now a PC gamer, man. So mods are awesome. And to know that the Switch 2 breaks your hardware because of a mod is like insane to me, dude. That
And,
it's
yeah.
insane to play a game on Steam that has the workshop or like Nexus mods, third parties that they openly fucking support, and then to go to like a Nintendo type of I can't think of the word community. I can't think of the word. The type of Nintendo consumer base where the company says, "Oh, if you mod our games, we'll shut down your console." That's that's an insane concept for someone from like myself that's now a PC gamer.
Yeah. Another thing too that's interesting is the storage space is 256 gigabytes.
It's not even 500. God,
Do you know how small that is? That is like, and especially if
they can't fit they can't fit one Call of Duty. That's literally like they can't even fit the last Call of Duty or the one that
yeah,
comes out next year, or the one or the year after that.
yeah, and that's why I'm saying like 6 months from now, it's almost like they have to make a refresh of the Switch 2. Like 256 is nothing if they're trying to really make games that are like Cyberpunk, like for the Switch 2. And Cyberpunk for the Switch 2 looks pretty good. Like I'm not gonna lie, looks pretty good, looks fine. But if they're releasing games more like that, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem for them, especially hitting that battery life as well. Um, yeah, so it's just I
Dude,
don't
you
know.
mentioned Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk alone is 25% of the game of their storage.
Jeez, man.
Cyberpunk alone is 25% of their storage. Let's look at another game. What's a game that's popular? The Mario Kart World Switch to storage space. How much do you think?
I don't think it's too much. I would say like maybe 16 gigabytes, 20 gigabytes.
Okay, Cyberpunk on the Switch 2 was 26 gigabytes, maybe 24. I just left the page.
Okay.
So Cyberpunk storage Switch 2. That shit, yeah, it was like, yeah, 26. Mario Kart World storage size, uh 23 gigs.
Whoa, it's almost the same. Whoa, that is
Yeah.
interesting.
Up to 23.4.
Okay.
21.9 is so approximately 21.9. Some sources 23.4 based on regional updates.
And and
Um,
and 256 is before the system, right?
oh yeah,
So
before the system exists.
so
Yeah.
it's like so you're really getting like 230, right? 230 gigs for some shit, probably.
Mhm.
Um, I'm thinking that's in its ballpark. It could be 240, but as you know, when it comes to storage space on consoles, you're never getting what it's actually on the box. which we had to explain to many people at GameStop when it came to the 20 gig hard drive. Why does it say 12?
Oh, the GTA 5. Oh my God, that Grand Theft Auto 5 storage shit just caused nightmares. But it says 12 on the box. Yeah, but you're only getting like 9. But it says 12. I know. God, bring like fun memories, dude.
So yeah, man, I think that's really my main rant. My main rant is that it's okay to it's okay to critique something that you love, right? And for Nintendo, it's I'm glad that the Switch 2 is selling. I'm glad people are enjoying it, but again, I think it's okay to, even if you have a Switch 2, it's okay to critique the issues with it. I do laugh at the people that were shitting on the Switch 2 and they ended up buying it anyway. But when it comes to those who just who just play it or whatever, and they're Nintendo fans or whatever, and they want to critique it,
Oh,
that's fine. So that's my only point. That's my only point there on that.
real quick mention that real quick mention the Polygon. 4 AAA games fill up the storage space. Madden. So Madden 26, Split Fiction, Cyberpunk, and Yakuza 0 Director's Cut will fill up the space.
Yeah.
Four AAA games fill up your hard drive.
Okay, is there like a micro SD or some shit for additional space?
Let me see. All of those games together clock in. So it says now you. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
It might seem like
Let's see.
okay. It might seem nuts to buy add-on storage for a console you don't yet possess, but we think it's smart to grab the biggest micro SD express card you can afford for the Switch 2. So yeah, you need to get a fucking micro SD express, the largest one you can.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, your old micro SDs won't be compatible for the Switch 2 for anything by looking at screenshots. Okay, great. So you have to buy a whole new one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you need to buy a micro SD, specifically a micro SD express card is what they're calling.
And here's the problem too when it comes to micro SD cards. They are not going to run the same versus because I'm assuming the storage on the Switch 2 is an SSD, right? Um, it's not nearly going to run the same. So I am a betting man that Cyberpunk on the SD card for the Switch 2, there's no way that game runs the same. No way. No fucking way. It's just because there's only so many there's just so much that for like the data the data that it does per second or whatever the fuck it is. It's not even going to touch a solid state drive. You know what I mean? That flash storage, while it is cool for files transfer and whatnot, if you're operating a fucking game, it's just not going to be. It's not going to work well. What if you have a SSD connected to CPU and all that stuff? Like it's just more optimized to perform better. It's just, yeah. So that's the problem. It's like it wouldn't be a problem for like the old school handheld Nintendo stuff because it didn't need that. It didn't need that much power to do it, and that's why like that's why a lot of those consoles are genius because it didn't need a whole lot. Even like the OG 3DS and all that stuff. I don't know if you could do extra SD storage on that, but like, you didn't need a whole lot. But now they're in a ballpark where there's a lot of more demanding factors at play, and it's starting to really impede the device. So 6 months from now, they're definitely going to make a redo. I think they might. I'm curious to see how they're going to manage that. They're either doing a redo or people are going to be like, "What the fuck." So it doesn't mean the console won't sell. I think it'll still sell crazy numbers,
It's already
but
broken. It's already broken records.
yeah, it's all
Those
yeah, and
those poor retailer stores. They probably smelled so bad.
yeah,
They
they gotta
smelled
air
so
out they
bad.
gotta air out all
Oh
their
my
stores,
God.
man.
Oh God. Sorry. Sorry. We were there, man. It's you know
Yeah,
how much it sucks to be an employee. To be too much it sucks to work somewhere, you can't tell the person you're talking to. They smell like a fucking garbage pile. You know what I mean? The smell of roach-filled consoles is a smell that'll stick with my brain till the day I die. Um, but real quick, Drill, for at least pricing, for those of you that we advise to buy a larger storage, maybe like a 500 gigabyte or maybe like the new norm, a terabyte, a 1 terabyte micro SD Express. You need to see the XC. You need to see the XC Express card on those. You're buying the wrong fucking one. A 1 terabyte is going to cost you about $100. It's going to cost you about $100. 500 gigabytes is going to cost about 80. So anywhere from 50 to 80. 1 terabyte for 100. If you want to go all in, which we recommend when it comes to storage, bigger number. 2 terabytes is about $200, 170 to $200. But that's the leap. We all know storage has a leap somewhere.
Oh,
It's like, okay, $80, $100,
Jesus.
120. But because that's the thing too. Remember, if you're looking for a micro SD, because it's a little different, you need to see the micro SD XC, micro SD Express card.
And definitely Black Friday deals for storage is like
It's insane.
yeah, insane, amazing. So I
Fucking
would say
ridiculous.
yeah.
I
So if
remember
you
back in the
yeah.
day. I remember back in the day, Drill, before terabytes was like a big norm. I bought 2 terabyte Western Digital SSD for like fucking $90, and
Yeah.
I had that shit for years.
Yeah. No, yeah. Storage is something I will always like. I will always get during Black Friday. If I get anything, definitely storage space. So keep an eye on that, Nintendo fans. Godspeed to you all, and I hope you enjoy your consoles. So yeah, man. And then speaking of handhelds, I know you wanted to mention just some information regarding to that the Xbox ROG Ally. Um,
No, not like I said, not exactly new information. There's rumors.
how you feeling about it? You thinking about copping it?
Uh, out not this year, but maybe next, because I already got
Okay.
my next two vacations. Already got planned out.
Oh shit.
Doing a family trip.
Mm.
I'm doing a family trip up on a lake. We're gonna go boating and shit. Um, a lot of cooking, a lot of grilling for the 4th of July.
Awesome.
Do that classic, America.
Oh
Gonna
fuck.
be gonna be on a boat, gonna be on a boat, gonna be on a boat, gonna be on a lake, gonna do some
Yeah.
grilling for
Yeah.
4th of July. Can't fucking wait. And then in the wintertime, January, I think I'm going on a cruise with the family again, a family trip. But I still want to save up for like a me trip because even like the coolest family, it's still family. Like there's a child involved, which means I can't be normal after dark Arthur around a child. Um, so I still want to save up, for I want to maybe check out Europe
I'll
or
cut that out
something
because that sounded crazy.
like a new like a new I don't know. I want to go somewhere I've never been before. Like I've been to every country in North America. There's only three. I live 3 hours from fucking one of them. The other one was a 3 hour flight. So I don't know. Go to a new continent I've never been before. Surprisingly, flights to Europe are as bad as I thought. I thought flights to Europe were gonna be like a $1,200. Dude, I'm seeing some flights to like Central Europe for like 500, like 450 round trip. So.
Just be sure to do your research on um, some of these countries. They're requiring more because
I have visas and shit.
America's doing that dumbass shit. So.
Oh, dude, Drew, I used to work in hotels, man. I was a concierge. It's my world. It's my, I'm on top of it. Appreciate the
but
best, but your boy's on top of it.
but
But
I'm
what I'm
glad
saying
glad you're
is
traveling.
but because I'm looking at traveling, the ROG LEX, it might be a Black Friday next year, like 26 thing. So, because I'm looking at ROG Allies, and as powerful as they are, they're not cheap. They're not, they're not cheap. So, and here's the thing too. I know people are understandably us clowning the Switch for the audacity for almost being $500. The Switch 2 is almost the same cost as the PS5. Get the fuck out of here. Um, but ROG Allies, they're like $800. So if this one's gonna be the most powerful one, it's gonna be up there. But here's the thing too. Remember the ROG Ally X. The X is the larger one. Um, That one is going to be, it's going to have 24 gigabytes of RAM. That's nothing to gawk at. That's not the same thing as the most powerful like 4 grand computer. Because no shit, 4 grand gets you more power than $900. Oh, fucking shocker. But this handheld can do literal laps around the Switch too. And here's the thing too. I think that because the thing drill that they've been open and honest about from the very first announcement, this is not a quote unquote Xbox handheld. This is a gaming handheld that you can use other storefronts. And so they have openly, and they have openly said like you can use Steam on this. You can use, other storefronts like Epic Game Store on this. So for PC gamers, we know though we don't buy shit off the Epic Game Store, we keep our eye out for that free game. And that's something you'll be able to take advantage of. So can you imagine, Joe? It's like having fucking Game Pass Ultimate, um, and you look at the Epic Game Store, and you're doing Steam sales. This is gonna be the biggest, like, you know, your buck's gonna go a long way. It's the biggest bang for, I couldn't think of the word. It's the biggest bang for your buck for a handheld, I think, ever in
Well,
this ROG Ally X.
yeah, and here's the thing too. It's not even just a handheld where you have multiple storefronts. You're buying a powerful PC that's operating like a handheld. But they went with Asus because to me they did it the best. Like there's the Steam Deck, which I think is from a like just a console experience is doing it better, I think. But if we're talking about a Windows device, to me, Asus has blown everybody else out of the water. MSI, Lenovo, I think
NVIDIA.
I think they blew everybody else out of the water when it comes to that, and it's getting the most recent chip as well, which is crazy. Now, one thing for you, Arthur, is that you have more options at that point if you're looking at getting it at that point, because Sony's around the corner. They're going to be releasing their handheld too. And that shit might be fucking crazy because originally
You're
they were a
well, you're
hardware company.
you're saying the PlayStation Portable, the fucking Q thing isn't good. Whoa, Drell. No.
They're releasing
How
their
dare you?
no, they're releasing their real powerful handheld. I think next year. Like they even commented about it on VGC. They had an article about it. Shout out to VGC. Uh, Talking about how Sony kind of responded. Like, oh yeah, like I'm happy for them, but this seems like more like PS4 content, PS4 graphics versus PS5. But their handheld's going to be crazy too. Now, here's the only issue with, and I can bet on this: Sony's more next powerful handheld. It's everything's proprietary. It's all going to be all proprietary shit. Like I remember when the Vita came out, their
Meaning
memory
it's just Sony shit. It's not gonna.
exactly
It's so again, the ROG Ally is a gaming handheld device partnered with Xbox. The PlayStation handheld that's gonna come out will be a PlayStation handheld.
right.
Meaning nothing's confirmed. We're making speculation, but this is what Sony's known
Yes,
for. Sony does not play well with others. So again, where it's confirmed the ROG Ally X, you can play on Steam, you can play other storefronts. You do not have to live off of the Xbox Microsoft storefront. That's the one of the first things they fucking announced in the trailer, and it's the like the one of the first things they show off on their website. I'm looking at now. Um, Whereas to your right, Jarrell, whereas a PlayStation like the Vita, the PSP, that is not a gaming handheld device. That is a PlayStation handheld. And it's not bad. It's just saying that they are going to be different. Whereas you can play Steam games, you can play PC games on your OG Ally. You kind of one for one won't be able to play that on your this coming PlayStation handheld that will be announced. Now, yeah, you can play PlayStation games that are coming out for PC, but it's still a PlayStation entity. Um, so yeah, man. Like I said, I just think this ROG Ally X, the more I look into it, is just it's the biggest. It's a huge bang for your buck. And we're talking about storage, drill, a terabyte, as it fucking should be.
yeah, and I guess they optimize it too, where like the task manager doesn't boot up immediately when you turn on the console, and it just takes you to the Xbox storefront. So even from like a battery perspective, that should help the battery a lot. So they're even kind of making it where it's going to be a lot more friendly from a battery life perspective, given the Windows, because Windows is just it just does terrible on batteries, on battery life.
That's one other thing too. Well, there's one more thing I want to talk about the RGLAX. We didn't go too much in deep dive when we did it. This is the first handheld of this kind that looks and feels like a controller. Like that was one of the biggest things for me that turned me off from the Steam Deck. It looks like an old school Neo Geo, but I've been playing controls for too long to not hold or play in a controller. You know what I mean? Um, the NVIDIA, the claw they call it, that the Steam Deck
Oh, the
and
MSA Claw. Yeah.
MSI Claw, the MSI Claw, the other models of the ROG. Uh,
The Lenovo feels really bad. It's
the,
like
the,
sharp corners and stuff. Like it's a nice screen. I like that there's like a mouse pad,
yeah,
but it does not feel comfortable to me.
this one again is even if you buy the smaller one, the Ally, the ROG Xbox Ally, the ROG Xbox Ally X, regardless of the model you get for processing power, regardless of the model you get for storage, they're both going to handle and feel like like a gaming controller. I think the last gaming handheld for me, the drill that did something like that was, do you remember the NVIDIA Shield? Where that was just a controller with a screen on it. It looked kind of funky at the time, but I really think the NVIDIA Shield was ahead of its time because we're just now seeing stuff like that come about in terms of ergonomics and comfort. Um,
I
versus
agree.
portability. I still think the Nvidia Shield was ahead of its time. The phone accessories like the backbone kind of remind me of that, where the
Yeah,
focus is like on comfortability and feeling like a controller. And that's one of the things where looking at the Steam Deck right now kind of turns me off because the Steam Deck, it's not so much aesthetics, but it's like how it's going to handle. And the Steam Deck looks like it's going to handle like a slightly curved brick with buttons.
the Steam. To be fair, the Steam Deck feels comfortable, but it's a heavy device, and it's not going to feel as good as the ROG Ally. Like
Yeah.
it's not. It doesn't. It doesn't feel. Because I want to say I've held one before. It's probably been a long time, but the problem is, I think, is that it's heavy. It's a little heavy, I mean, my ROG Ally that I have, it's a little heavy. It's fucking, it's some serious shit. But the biggest thing is just the storefronts. You're limited to just Steam. While it does fluidly work very fast, like a console, Steam Deck. That's all I got. If you're not buying from the Steam Deck, you're not really using it unless you plug it into the dock and you start surfing on the internet. The ROG Ally, you have mad options, and it has the most updated chip as well. That Z2 AI chip, whatever it is.
Sorry, real quick. I know this is not wonderful in comparison, but I just found an older comparison.
Yeah,
The Switch OLED. So you know how we're saying the ROG Ally X has 24 gigabytes of RAM?
yeah.
The Switch OLED, 4.
I mean, to be fair, it didn't need it, right? Like, it didn't need it. It's just, I just feel like with this new one, I just feel like they're gonna hit a wall with the tech and what they did. Um, we're almost hitting 2 hours. Did you want to anything else you wanted to on the docket? I know we had certain things on
Oh
there.
yeah, no, just my background. Just ended some fucking good news,
Game
man.
Informer. Oh yeah. So
You and I are both once again officially paying
yeah,
paying subscribers to Game Informer. And
I know, right?
I'm happy for it. I'm excited for it, man. Like, it's really funny because my internet went out the other day. Like a transformer exploded outside my window. I heard that. I was like, zap, and then I'm like, yep, there goes my internet. Like a transformer exploded, and so I was like, ah, first world problems. I don't have internet. What do I do? Meh. And it's really funny that Joe. I really thought of is I was like, fuck, dude, I really wished I had my Game Informer magazine because I would love to go on my balcony and just fucking read through Game Informer. I want to do that. I want to, like I said, as a kid say, vibe. I don't know. On the day where there's summer rain, summer storms, my weather is like 80 degrees. Next day, lightning storm, lightning storm. Next day, 60 degrees. Next day, 80 degrees. Next day, lightning storm. Summer rains, man. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to just getting Game Informer like we used to back in day and reading through it, getting articles, getting news. You don't have to worry about fucking ads. You don't have to worry about clickables. You don't have to worry about skippable shit. And just the fact they brought their crew back, and I'm looking. I'm excited, man. Like I said, my background here just made me really think of the quality they delivered. Um, and I'm excited for like what feels like a new generation a little bit to dabble, to try Game Informer, because we all know where we shouldn't go for news, which is fair. We've talked about it. We mentioned it this fucking episode, but I'm looking forward. I'm hopeful for people to find a place where they want to go. Instead of being directed to a place they shouldn't go here, shouldn't go here, shouldn't go here, should not go there, should not go there. I'm looking forward to Game Informer being in more conversations of where they should go for consistent, I don't know, for consistent just gaming journalism, a concept that's been dying, that's been killed off by their own for so long. So,
Yeah.
I bought the print and digital edition because I'm looking forward to having my magazines again, reading on my balcony, like an old head. I don't give a shit. I'm looking forward to reading again. Fuck it, dude. And then you got the digital edition.
Yeah.
And both of us have archives to their old editions, like my background here, Assassin's Creed Rogue. I still forgot Battleborn was a
Fucking
cover.
Battleborn, dude. Oh my god.
I know Battleborn got killed by Overwatch, but seriously, if anybody wants to watch one of the coolest game intros ever, I'm not even ironically joking. Look up the intro to Battleborn. The game is dead, so don't get too hyped. But it had a sick ass opening. You remember that anime? It had like an anime opening. It looked so good.
Mm.
It was by 2K, the same team, 2K Gearbox, the same people behind Borderlands. So it had that cell shade aesthetic to it. But credit what credit is due. That game had a sick fucking opening. I still remember that the opening to this day.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it? Oh no, I'm thinking of Brink. Okay, no,
No,
because
Brink. No, Brink is the rollerblade game that died.
yeah, because I remember there is a game that was killed pretty much during its release because the PlayStation Network went down and it was down for like months.
Yeah, it was that big hack, and it was Brink.
Yeah,
Yeah, Brink. Yeah,
and Brink
Brink.
pretty much died.
Brink was dead overnight, dude. Brink was a true dead on arrival game. We've seen time and time again from other live action games. But yeah, Game Informer, man. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to sending you a picture when I get mine. Um, we'll keep each other posted when that first issue gets released. And we recommend people checking it out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Get some. I mean, this is quality gaming journalism. It's they're one of the best to ever do it. And if
Game
you,
Informer. He's not like glazing us. Game Informer. I thought you were wrapping up
no,
your
like
tone.
us, like oh no,
Yeah,
we're the
you're
best
yeah.
ever do it. No, no, I'm
Your
talking about
t-
Game Informer.
Sorry, your tone was like, okay, this time, okay. So this is the episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed. This is one of the best game journalism you'll ever see. We're the best.
Oh
I'm like,
no, no,
humble brag.
that's not what I. No, yeah, that's not what I meant
You're
to
good.
say.
You're good.
But
Well,
I
on that
know
note,
I've said so much shit this episode. So, but yeah, on that note, I think we'll wrap it up here. Again, Gamers Fly Podcast each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday discussing that game and shit. One of your hosts, Jarrell, with me is Arthur Thomas.
that's me. See you in the fight in Helldivers, and see you on the streets in Schedule 1.
Super Earth. All right, catch you guys next time. Thanks.